I don't think I've ever made a political video like this before, and well, this isn't exactly a political video. This is more of a video explaining that there needs to be some changes made in our country. Now, before I get started, I'm going to try to, stay out of politics specifically in this video, but I'll just state that I have not been the biggest fan of Donald Trump. I have been, mainly anti-Donald Trump. That being said, do I blame him specifically for the things that happened this last weekend and the week before? No. But do I think that he did a good job to prevent them? No. Like, this country has had a problem with racism and with gun violence for a while. But it just seems like it's in its worst possible state, and that's just horrible. And it all started a couple weeks ago, or actually more about a week ago, last weekend, in Gilroy, California, which is about 40 minutes from where I was born in Palo Alto, California. And it was at the Gilroy Garlic Festival, which I had been to before as a toddler, which my parents had their first date apparently in the 80s at. One of my memories from living in the Bay Area was the Gilroy Garlic Festival, and one of the places that I would, like to go again to in the future would be the Gilroy Garlic Festival. And I was actually in the Bay Area then as well. And the next day after it happened, I flew back home out of San Jose, which is only like maybe 20 minutes north of where it happened in Gilroy. So, that's where it all started. And it was only 3 people that were killed. It was tragic. 2 children, 25-year-old. It was horrible. And, I was hoping that would be the last one that we would at least see in a while, or ever. What was the last one? I was hoping it'd be the last one we'd ever see, of course. But next week and last weekend, we had 2 within less than 24 hours apart from each other. One in El Paso, Texas, and then one in Dayton, Ohio. And what I gotta say to that is just not acceptable. People will say there's nothing we can do to prevent them, and I see where they're coming from, but at the same time, with that attitude, nothing will change. Lawmakers in Congress need to do something that'll prevent this shit from ever happening again. I will say it. Yes, there's no guarantee that will work, but just doing nothing will not solve anything. And I'm not saying they should ban all guns or nothing like that. I'm saying that they should make sure that guns, like the ones that happened in these shootings this last weekend, should never be anywhere in the hands of any citizens. It should only be on the battlefield. AR-15s, that shit. Look at how many people it killed in the matter of seconds. In the Dayton shooting, the cops were able to kill the shooter within a minute after it happened. But that minute was not enough because he had already killed 9 people. I mean, how ridiculous is that? I mean, with a small handgun, a hunting rifle, would that have done that? No, it wouldn't have. And the El Paso shooting, it seemed to be racially motivated, of course. Now, do I think that, Trump's rhetoric, against Mexicans and, with the wall and all that, do I think that is 100% to blame for what happened? No. But did it help it? No. But, I'll give Donald Trump credit because, he finally said something that I've hoped that I was wanting him to say for 2 years, or that it's time, for Democrats and Republicans to come together and prevent this from happening. Because he's tweeted so many times, anti-democratic shit so much, talking shit about Democrats, blaming them for everything instead of bringing the country together. He's been trying to divide this country. Politics in general, I hate. I would lean more to the left, but to be honest, I hate politics in general because it just causes too many fights between people that are friends. It causes, people to hate each other for no reason when we should be bringing people together. So I would more want to be an independent rather than a Democrat or Republican, to be honest. Even though my family might be liberal, I live in Arizona, which is a Republican state. It's all, fights. It's just so annoying to have to, see. I mean, some of them are entertaining to watch to look at on Facebook and social media, but at the end of the day, it's just too much. We need to come together as a country and stop this shit from happening. And Steve Kerr, the coach of my Golden State Warriors, has been a great activist on this gun violence and has been a great activist to try to get Congress to actually do something to stop this shit from happening ever again. And, Cattle Dog, me and him were talking on Instagram about, guns, in general. He was saying that, he brings his gun, he carries wherever he goes, because of this shit. And I don't blame him for doing that. I have no problem with that. That's fine. But what he said on Instagram, and I know you're probably watching this as well, he was saying that he thinks that if he was there, that he could prevent this from just having a gun and, and shooting back at the shooter or whatnot. And he thinks that, well, everyone should have a gun to make sure this shouldn't happen. But here's the problem with that, so if, let's say, there's a mass shooter, he's shooting around, and then there's someone with a gun that, that tries to shoot at him to stop him, all of a sudden someone else, a third person has a gun, is going to be confused as to who the bad guy actually is. And he could shoot the good guy, or he could, or if, more people just start having guns, all of a sudden it's going to turn into chaos. So what solution does everyone carrying and everyone having a gun actually do to prevent a shooter? It honestly, it helps, but it does not prevent it the way that everyone seems to think it would. If I was in a public place and someone was shooting, yes, of course I'd want someone that has a gun to protect me, but that person that's protecting me could be shot by someone else thinking that they're being the one that they're protecting everyone and whatnot. And then the cops, once they come, how are they going to know who the bad guy is? It's just going to turn into chaos, The better solution is just to stop people from having those horrible assault weapons that can wipe out people in a matter of seconds off the hands of citizens. That's what's going to stop this from happening. Not everyone having a gun. Do I really care if a good guy has a gun? No, I don't. But that's not going to help. Okay, it just isn't. So, and I'm glad Steve Kerr is speaking out, like he always has against mass shootings, and I'm really hoping Congress can, do something, As much as I can't stand Trump, I give him credit for finally saying that it's time to put Democrats and Republicans together to stop this shit. And I just hope that, we as a nation can stop this shit from happening, because I am just sick and tired of seeing it on the news. And it's just, the one in Gilroy that happened, so close to my home, where I call home, my favorite area, while I was there, that hit me, hard. I have so many connections to that Gilroy Garlic Festival. And the El Paso one and the Dayton one happening so close to each other, it just makes me sick. Enough is enough. And, I'm really hoping we can finally make a change so that this shit does not keep on happening. And I want to thank everyone for watching this video. I know I don't try not to talk politics on my channel. I try to keep it about sports. I try to keep it about things that are positive. But, when something like this happens, as an American, I just feel like I need to speak out, and try to do whatever I can, if anything, to try to make a change to this so it doesn't happen again. Dana G is out. Peace. Have a great day, everyone.